Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you who have joined in on this day two of the 12th edition of the RISE PECOWOrld Summit 2025. It's been 12 years since we have been bringing RISE to you, bringing to one platform people from different sectors, be it government, academia, corporate, civil society, NGOs. And we all come together because we are all interested in making this world a better place in every way possible. And while the RISE Summit is actually based on the UN Sustainable Development Goals, there are different facets to it, which you can experience through the myriad sessions that we have lined up for you. Through this 1 week, if you have checked out the agenda, we have more than 100 sessions lined up, on various aspects, right from environment to health to nutrition to name it, to governance, whole lot of stuff. And one aspect, which is something which I think all of us are deeply interested in, ever since childhood, I think, is music. I think there's hardly an Indian who's not been connected with music in some form or the other. Even as they say, if we are Kansains and not Tansains, we still contribute. And today, this, in fact, it's my privilege to be a part of two sessions back to back. We had a wonderful session which traced the history and the nuances of Hindi film music since independence. And now we are on to this session called Sur Aur Shwaas, Wellness Through Indian Music, which is all about music therapy. And it is my privilege to introduce to you the resource person we have for this session, who is none other than Mrs. Ashwini Kamath. I'll quickly read a brief bio. Mrs. Ashwini Kamath is the 11th generation of a family dedicated to Indian classical music. As a Sangeet Visharad first class holder, along with accomplishing her postgraduate degrees in commerce and MBA finance, she has dedicated her life to spreading the benefits of music across society. She is an A+ certified music therapist from the board of Indian Therapeutic Music, Sur Sanjeevan Music Therapy Trust. Her motto of spreading our priceless musical heritage keeps her an integral part of her family's 44-year-old music institute, Deepak Music Academy, based in Chembur. Her own music therapy brand, Ashwini Music Therapy Care, has been extending the therapeutic effects of music to patients across the country, as well as the USA, Singapore, Germany, and Dubai since the last 6 years. She specializes in specific psychological and psychosomatic disorders, along with prenatal wellness. She regularly conducts music therapy workshops for corporate companies, NGOs, and educational institutions. The highlights of her work was conducting workshops for the Indian Navy at INS Hamla and the Indian Army at the Colaba base. We are really privileged to have Ashwini with us. And I think for the next 1 hour or so, we are all set to immerse ourselves into the therapeutic effects of music. So it's over to you, Ashwini. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Naresh, for that lovely introduction and more importantly for introducing me to this lovely platform. I'm truly honored to be a part of this forum with so many experts and specialists presenting their respective expertise in their fields. And yes, I have been practicing music therapy since the last 6 years now. And I'm here to give you all an insight, a little sneak peek, a tip of the iceberg view into this modality, which is pretty extensive, but it's something that we all experience on a day-to-day basis, but don't really realize the impact that it has on our lives, in our lives. So before we start, just a very simple question to the lovely attendees present here. I'm sure all of you enjoy the sound of rainfall, of the ocean waves, of the birds chirping. I would love to see a couple of responses in the general chat. If you do enjoy, you wake up in the morning and there's a sweet little bird chirping at your window, I'm sure you feel just so much in bliss when you hear these sounds. The reason we enjoy these particular sounds are because they are associated with nature. And anything that's connected with nature is intrinsically very soothing, very relaxing for us. So there are sounds all around us, and each of them have different impact on our mind, on our body. So I'm just going to give you all an overview about the science of sound and music therapy, as well as give you all live demonstrations of the modality that I practice. and also have a sort of an interactive exercise where you all could participate in experiencing the power of sound with me. So, as I was saying, there are certain kinds of sounds that make us feel really calm, very, very in peace, very centered. So, these are sounds that are referred to as sattvic sounds or sattvic nad. Yeah. When we talk about nad, it's nothing but sound, but sound that is prolonged, So, this cannot be considered as nad. This is just dhwani, a sound, but anything that sustains, like the shankhanad or the ghantanad, that is referred to as nad. And there are three varieties of those. So as I was mentioning, sattvic nad, these are sounds basically which help us go inward, which make us feel very relaxed, very calm. Um the second variety of sounds of nad are called rajasic nad. So basically, rajasic sounds are sounds which invigorate us, which pump us up, give us that boost of energy. For example, music that's played in the gym, you need it to give you that boost and give you that adrenaline rush to work out even better, or just do that one more repetition, with full energy. Or the Pune and the Nasik dhol, you just cannot stop yourself from, tapping or moving to the rhythm once you hear that. So that is the power of sound. That is the power of music when it's simplified to sound. And we need that. Every once in a while, we need something that will invigorate us. We cannot always be in the Zen mode. And so the Rajasic sounds are also very, very integral for our wellness. The third category, of course, is something that we should steer clear from as as often as possible, and those are, of course, the tamasic sounds. So sounds which trigger anger, irritation, anxiety, something that is unavoidable in today's life with the incessant honking on the roads, or the sound of the construction that we are surrounded by. But as far as possible, we should stay away from those and steer towards the sattvic and the rajasic sounds. Yes, Shilpa ji, they are Swami Kalpana. Yes, the basic crux of these categorizations are very similar. Of course, the application is very, very different, but in essence, they refer to the same qualities or qualitative aspects of sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Yeah. And what I'm trying to put across is that different sounds trigger different reactions emotionally as well as physically in each of us. So it's a very subjective aspect. For example, if a person enjoys the sound, one particular sound, it's not necessary the other person also should enjoy it equally. Of course, accepting a few, like as I mentioned, the sounds of nature, which I'm sure most of us enjoy. But when we talk about music, for example, every person has their own taste, their own liking, and we cannot generalize it. So every sound triggers different emotions, different reactions in us. And there is one more sound which I always like to highlight, and I'm sure most of you remember it, is back in school while writing on the chalk, on the chalkboard, the blackboard. And there was this very peculiar sound that happened when the chalk screeched against the blackboard. I'm sure you'll remember that. Yes, absolutely. I don't think I even need to create that sound for you to get that cringe reaction physically. Even if you just imagine it, your body is giving you this extreme reaction to that sound. Two reasons, of course, because the brain has a special area to store memories that are associated with sound and music both. So it's very easy to reproduce an experience through a sound or through a particular piece of music. And secondly, mind and body are interrelated, they're interdependent, they are not isolated. So anything that affects the body is going to affect your mind and vice versa. And sound and music play a very important role in influencing both these aspects. So whether it's meditation or chants that you pursue or just praying daily to whichever power you believe in, It does have a positive effect on the body. Simultaneously, when you are careful about your diet or you're into yoga and fitness, it also has a positive impact on the mind. So the mind and body are one, they are interrelated, they are interdependent, and sound is a beautiful third aspect in that. So what the journey is basically is to go from ahat nad, ahat is struck sound, towards anahat nad, that is said to be the sound of the universe. So this is the journey that we aim to take through the wellness through music and sound. It's to find that inner space, and these are just beautiful mediums to reach that destination. Today, I will be sharing with you all the power of sound and music in two ways. And before that, I would also like to mention a point. So many times I get asked a question about how does sound actually work. So when we simplify it, music is nothing but sound that is pleasing to the ears, and sound is nothing but sound waves. So how it actually travels is through sound frequencies, something that we studied back in school. A very simple, very scientific concept of sound waves that are generated. However, sound that is emitted from a particular instrument or through your own voice in a periodic manner, that ends up being very, very pleasing and very soothing for the mind and body. And what it does basically is helps to regulate brainwave frequencies. So when we talk about sound healing, for example, the direct impact is on the brain waves, but it's not just your ear that is listening to the sound and the brain processing it, it's your entire body which soaks in the vibrations. Unfortunately, the online medium does not permit me sufficiently enough to give you a demonstration with the sound bowls or the healing bowls. One needs to be physically present to experience the power of that, but I will be taking you all through a very interesting concept of matrika chants for you all to explore how you all can use your own voice for your wellness. So matrika chants are basically akshars or syllables of the Sanskrit language, which when we combine with certain mudras, they help to work on rebalancing the energy points of the mind and body. Sanskrit is a very vibrational language. That's how we have the different mantras and the chants emerging from this beautiful language. Similarly, we can simplify it down to this concept called Matrika chants, which I will be giving you all a demonstration of. And I would be more than happy if you all could join me in chanting them and reciting those akshars, those syllables with me to experience the power of sound through your own voice. Of course, they have different benefits, and I will be explaining that to you as we go ahead, working on each chant individually. We'll start off with a chant that is meant to balance and just neutralize all your frequencies, your energies, your nadis, your chakras. You may refer to it as you like, but this akshar basically has a very balancing effect on the mind and body. And it's said to be the sound of the Adipati, the sound of the conscious mind, has multiple uses. Of course, it has great impact on the nervous system, on immunity. It helps to relieve any kind of stress, anxiety, and basically works on the pranavayu of the body. So we'll begin with the first chant, and that is the syllable, the akshar A. The mudra is very, very simple. You're only going to place your right hand on the top of your head, on the crown over here. Yeah. So the akshar is A, and I'd like all of you to just feel this energy point here closest to the brain. Close your eyes and sit in a very comfortable position, keeping your spine erect, of course, so that you're able to breathe correctly. We are now combining the power of Shwaas and an akshar, the sound. Not a sur, but Shwaas and the sound of your own voice. So let's begin. Sit comfortably, sit straight, eyes closed, And I would like you to chant the syllable the akshar with me. We're going to do each repetition. We're going to do each akshar with 5 repetitions. So let's begin. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Let's breathe in again. Take a deep breath in. Hands placed on the crown of your head. Take a deep breath in again. Breathe in. Fourth count in. And another time, breathe in. Perfect. Let's relax your hands. So this was the first akshar. I'm just going to type it into the chat box for you all to refer to it eventually ahead. We now move on to the second akshar, and that is the syllable A. Yes. So the second akshar, the second matrika chant that we're going to do together is the syllable A. Now, A is extremely useful to give you clarity of thought, to clear any kind of confusion. If you ever find yourself lacking clarity, whether it's about making a decision or taking an action towards something, just meditating with this sound and with this mudra helps to clear that brain fog and gives you clarity of thought. So also very useful if anyone suffers from migraines, from sinus issues, from headaches. It helps to also reduce any kind of anger issues. We can use it to reduce any kind of mental rigidity. If you're not able to accept a situation or you're not feeling open enough to a thought or a suggestion or a proposal, again, meditating with this sound helps you to think better. So the akshar is A, and you are going to place the tip of the madhyama, that is the middle finger of the right hand, between your eyebrows here, the point of the third eye as it's called. So we're going to work on this energy point which is closest to the pituitary gland of the brain. And your pituitary gland is responsible for all your executive functions, all the analysis, all the thinking, all the decision making. That's the job of the pituitary gland. And we're going to be working on the energy point that's closest to it. With your left hand, you're going to place it at the nape of your neck. So this is the start of the nervous system, the brain stem, and we are energizing, we are harmonizing the two energy points at the same time with the same sound. So the akshar is A. For clarity of thought. Thank you so much, Shilpa. Yes, it's for clarity of thought. It's for decision making. Hands in position for y'all. Right hand between the eyebrows and left hand on the nape of the neck. And we're going to chant A together 7 times. So I'd like all of you to sit straight, comfortably, eyes closed. Take a deep breath in, very slow breath in. Ensure as you're breathing in, your belly is expanding out. And as you breathe out, your belly contracts. Most of us do it the opposite way. But the right way is to breathe in, belly out, belly in. All right. So let's chant A together 7 times. Hands in position. Take a deep breath in. Ah. Release the breath and the voice in a very gentle manner. Take a deep breath in. Third count in. Breathe in. Fifth count in. And one more time, breathe in. Relax your hands. You can open your eyes again. So that was the Matrika chant for clarity of thought, for better decision making. Those were two energy points for our brain, for the wellness of the brain. We now move on to the next important organ of the body, and that's the heart. So this particular chant, this particular akshar, psychologically, emotionally, it helps you to release any kind of pent up emotions, anything that you're holding on to. It could be grief, anger, anxiety, fear, stress. जो भी अंदर पकड़ के रखा है, just helps you to release, it helps you to let go over a period of time. It also increases your ability to give and receive love, gratitude, forgiveness, something that's very important in today's day and age. Physically, it works on the energy point that's close to the heart, that's close to the lungs, and so it works on your cardiovascular health, your respiration, your blood circulation. So the akshar that we're going to chant together 7 times is year. Yeah, so the third akshar, I'm just putting it in the chat box again. The third akshar that we're going to chant is year. We're going to place both the hands, one below the other this way, not overlapping, on the chest, just below the neck here, so that as you chant, you can feel the vibration of your voice. Please do understand that this is sound energy that we are creating, right? One may believe in different modalities or may not believe in different modalities, but there is one aspect that nobody can deny is the existence of energy. This whole universe works on energy. We are conversing today thanks to energy, the Wi-Fi, which is nothing but frequency and energy. So what we're doing right now, what you're experiencing right now with me is sound energy, and it's necessary that you chant it out loud at an audible level, not too loud and not too soft, but sufficient enough for you to create energy within your mind and body, right? So let's place both our hands one below the other. Close your eyes, and we're going to chant year together 7 times. So hands in position, sit comfortably, back straight. Close your eyes and let's take a deep breath in. Breathe in. Third count in. Breathe in. Fifth count in. Ya. And one more time, breathe in. Just hold your hands in position and keep your eyes closed for a moment. And I want you all to just take a moment, a few seconds, to just express gratitude, to thank the energy, the power that you believe in, and just express gratitude for this life that you have, that you're living. You can never pour from an empty cup, as they say. So take a moment to bless yourself with positivity, with abundance. Take a deep breath in and feel yourself breathing in and out, the biggest sign that we are alive, we are thriving. And you can now relax your hands, you can open your eyes. So that was the akshar to balance the energy point near the heart, near the lungs. When I say wellness is all about balance, I'm sure you'll agree with me, whether it's balance between your work life and your personal life, balance between the mind and body. We all, as individuals, have two energies in us, the feminine and the masculine energy, and it's very essential that we balance them to help us stay true to who we are as a person, as a constitution. The first akshar that we're going to chant to balance is for the feminine energy, and both male and female, as I said, as individuals, we have both these energies. So this akshar basically helps to balance the feminine energies. It helps to manifest happy relations with important female members in our life. Also, if any of you have any kind of digestive issues, the ladies, if you all have any kind of menstrual issues, it helps to work on balancing that energy point there. Those of you who have children, you all can think of your children and manifest what you would like for them as you chant along with me. So the akshar is bha. Just typing it out again in the chat box. Bha, the heavier sound. And you're going to place both your hands on your navel, on your nabhi, on the belly button, because that is the crux of the female energy. So you're going to place your hands on the navel and we're going to chant the syllable bha together 7 times. While you're chanting, you can either think of your children, you can think of important female members in your life, your mother, your wife, your daughter, your sister, your closest friend, and just wish well for them. Alright, so let's begin. I'd like all of you to sit straight, comfortably, eyes closed. Take a deep breath in. Bha. Breathe in again. Bha. Third count in. Bha. Bha. Fifth count in. Bha. Breathe in again. Bha. And another time, breathe in. Bha. Wonderful. Relax your hands. You can open your eyes again. So that was the Akshar to balance the feminine energies. And then, of course, we need a chant, we need an Akshar to balance the masculine energies present in all of us. So again, extremely useful to manifest happy, harmonious relations with important male members in our life. Also very useful if you ever find yourself that you lack the confidence or you lack the support to do something, or take up some course or some kind of initiative in your life. Just meditating with this chant helps to build the self-worth, the self-confidence in your mind for yourself. So it just builds your self-esteem up and gives you that boost in the direction that you want to take. Physically, very useful if anybody suffers from lower back pain issues or leg pain issues. It helps to work on regulating the energy point there. So you're going to place both your hands on your lower back behind you with the palms touching your back. You could keep it vertically, horizontally, anything that's comfortable for you. So the akshar that we're going to chant is B, the softer sound B. You're going to place both your hands on your lower back. The idea being you are your biggest support. Yeah. So let's sit in position. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Ba. Ba. Third count in. Ba. Ba. Fifth count in. Ba. Breathe in. Ba. And one more time. Ba. Relax your hands. We now go towards the last chant, the last akshar, the matrika chant that we've been doing, and the last sound is the humming sound. So those of you who practice yoga would know it as Brahmari. The beauty about humming is that it has a cumulative effect of all the akshars that we have chanted till now. So if y'all would like to incorporate matrika chants in your daily routine of meditation or prayers or yoga, and you are falling short of time to go through all of it, just humming creates that entire effect on your body. So let's go inwards and hum together 7 times. I will also tell you why this chant has such a beautiful effect on the mind and body after we finish chanting. I would ask all of you to place your hands in the Dhyana Mudra. So that's when you cup both your hands one into the other and join the thumbs. Place your hands comfortably into your lap. Close your eyes. So this is like a holder, a cup that you're forming with your hands, collecting the energy that you are creating with your own voice for your own wellness. So the next akshar or the next sound is the humming sound. Hands comfortably into your lap. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Feel the energy as you hum. Feel it down your spine, your throat. Take a deep breath in. Third count in. Breathe in. Sixth count in. And one more time. All right. Relax. Open your eyes again. The humming sound has an instant effect to de-stress the mind and to just, if you find yourself, you find yourself in the situation sometimes where your mind is just jammed, you're not able to think clearly. It just helps to de-stress instantly. It's like first aid. The reason being is that when you hum, you instantly vibrate or trigger vibrations in the vagus nerve. It is like a first aid to feel relaxed, to reduce anxiety. I'd like to share a very interesting observation. Those of you who have children, young children, toddlers especially, if you've noticed that when they're playing by themselves, drawing or playing, they usually tend to hum when they're doing so. And that's the body's natural way of relaxing, of de-stressing. As we grow older, of course, we forget these things. So it's very important for us to incorporate these little practices on a day-to-day basis that help you to balance your system. These have beautiful effects on having better sleep, reducing stress and anxiety, releasing any kind of buried emotions, pain management. So this is something that you all can practice on a day-to-day basis. That's something I would definitely encourage. Again, if you're still short of time and you are not able to even spare 10 minutes, just to meditate or to do these chants, one of the most effective ways that I usually share with people who consult me is to hum while you are in the shower. You, I'm sure, are aware that water is the best medium to pass vibrations. Yeah, that's how aquatic animals converse with each other, communicate is through sonic vibrations. Water is the medium which can transfer vibrations in the most effective manner. And when you have water pouring on the crown down your entire body, you can pass positive vibrations all throughout by humming at the same time. We are 72% water, and what better way than to just de-stress yourself in, while you're doing that daily chore of yours. So it's something that you can very easily incorporate in your day-to-day life and just see the positive effect on your mind and body throughout the day ahead. So this was the concept of Matrika chants, where you use your own voice for your own wellness. We went through a series of akshars of the Sanskrit language. So while one aspect of my practice is to propagate the use of this ancient language of our country for our wellness, the other modality that I practice and very, very close, very, very important to me is the modality of the music therapy, and that is Sur Sanjeevan. This particular music therapy modality is based on a scientific methodology called Sur Sanjeevan, which has a very holistic approach using concepts of Indian classical music, that's Hindustani classical music, Ayurveda, and brainwave entrainment. So this modality was founded by my mentor, Dr. Pandit Shashank Katti. After 25 years of research with his panel of doctors and musicologists, and I would like to just give you an overview of this particular modality of music therapy, of what it entails and how do we practice it. So the three main pillars of this therapy, as I already mentioned, are Indian classical music, Ayurveda, and brainwave entrainment. And what it does is establish how these three sciences are interrelated and connected to each other. In these dynamics, it is music that acts as a linchpin between Ayurveda and brainwave entrainment. So let's just first understand the equation of Ayurveda and Hindustani classical music. Both these disciplines are ancient Indian sciences. Now, you might say that music is an art, but essentially, Hindustani classical music is an amalgamation of art and science. It's based on very profound theories and research conducted over thousands of years by a number of musicologists and artists. It has elements of physics, mathematics, logic, and that is the reason Hindustani classical music is called Shastriya Sangeet. Shastra meaning science and Sangeet referring to the music, the artistic aspect of it. Now, as far as the correlation of Ayurveda and music goes, the biggest similarity lies in the time theory of these sciences. I'm sure if you've learned Hindustani or even have been acquainted slightly with this beautiful art form, you have heard the concept that the rags in Hindustani music, have been assigned particular time periods of the day and night. I will not, of course, go into the details as to why and how these specific timings have been assigned, because that requires me to go into the technicalities of Hindustani music, which is not the agenda for today's webinar. So keeping this in mind, that every rag is made up of certain combination of swars and has a particular mood, has a particular effect on our minds and bodies, and hence there is a designated samay or a time period for it to be heard or sung in. Let's go on to understand this very, very similar aspect in Ayurveda as well. So there are three dynamic forces, functional energies in our body, and that is the Kapha dosh, Pitta dosh, and Vata dosh. And each of these are responsible for a set of functions in our body, and they function in a cyclical manner 24/7. All these three energies, they are constantly functioning in us all throughout the day and night. Now, the therapy which I practice recognizes this significant correspondence between these two ancient disciplines and applies the correlation to rectify disorders of the mind and body. Kindly excuse me while I just have a sip of water. So as I was saying, what we are basically doing is correlating the science of Ayurveda and Hindustani classical music. And there is a very important shlok that I would like to share with you that establishes this correlation between the two. And it goes as Uchchastaro dhvani ruksho vidnyeya vatjo budhay gambhiro ghanashilascha ज्ञातव्य पित्तजो ध्वनि स्निग्धस्य सुकुमारस्य मधुर कफजो ध्वनि त्रयाणाम गुणसंयुक्तो vidneya sannipataja. I'm of course going to simplify this and break it down for you all to understand a little better. The first line, Uchchastaro dhvani ruksho vidneya vatjo budhai, meaning any kind of dry and sharp sound are the sounds which are associated with the vat dosh of the body. Gambhiro ghanashilascha jnatavya pittajo dhvani, meaning deep and dense sounds are related to the pitta dosh of the body. Snigdhasya sukumarasya madhura kafajo dhvani, soft, sweet, gentle sounds are the sounds of kafadosh. Trayanam guna sayukto vidnyaya sannipataja, meaning the sounds that have all these virtues together, which are balanced in every form, are known as sannipataja swars. So basically, in conclusion, what we can say is that the swars of Hindustani classical music, I'm sure you all have all heard of the Sat Shuddha Swar, Saregama Padhani, and then of course we have got two other varieties, the Komal and the Tivra Swar. Basically, they have been categorized to associate with the three functional energies, the three dosh. And what we do is the different swars help to rectify different disorders arising due to an imbalance of kapha, pitta and vata doshas respectively. Of course, I will give you slightly more information, a little more insight as we go ahead. But the basic gist of this is correlating the swars of Hindustani music to the three dosh, kapha, pitta and vata. When we talk about disorders, for example, the word itself describes the condition. It's something that is out of order, something that's not as it's supposed to be. So whenever there's an imbalance, there is a need to rebalance it, to rectify it. And we do that through Indian classical music in a very, very particular manner, following a particular methodology that we have studied under this research. Coming to the third aspect, and that is brainwave entrainment. I know you all are all aware of the fact that our brain, which controls all the functions of the body, has about 100 billion nerve cells, which are called neurons, basically, which trigger electrical impulses and relay information and messages to different parts of the body. Now, these brainwave patterns again have different frequencies which keep occurring in a cyclical format 24/7. So again, if you see the similarity over there, in every state of brainwave, our body performs different functions. For example, in the delta stage, which is the lowest brainwave frequency stage, that is 0.5 to 4 hertz approximately, that's when we sleep and there's a release of the HGH hormone, the growth hormone. That's when the body's maximum wear and tear, the maintenance work of the body happens in that deep delta stage, in the deep sleep. The second is the theta stage, which is roughly 4 to 8 hertz. This is said to be the dream state where you can reprogram the brain. The healing and reconditioning of the body occurs. You can also experience emotional outbursts when you are in this particular state while being awake. It's also the REM stage. The third stage is the alpha stage, which is roughly between 8 to 12 hertz. And this is a meditative state. So through music therapy, ideally, I would say through sound healing or through music therapy, we work on bringing the brave first to the alpha stage, which is meditative, which helps to de-stress, it helps to boost the immunity, it helps to just relax, reboot, and just reconnect with yourself inwards. And of course, the state that we are in most of the time, even right now, as you're listening to me, as I'm conversing with you, is the beta stage. And that is somewhere between 12 to 30 hertz. It's the awakened state where we are analyzing, we are thinking, we are moving, we are deciding, we are talking. This is where we are most active, right? So the highest being beta, and then alpha, theta, and delta. The key word over here is the cyclical occurrence of stages, whether it's in the tridosh or the brainwave frequencies, and the cyclical uh, allotment of the rag samay in Hindustani classical music. So if we compare, music can also take us through different states of brainwave frequencies. As I mentioned earlier, music can help you go to sleep. It can help you be in a meditative state. We experience different emotions through sound and music. It can give you a boost of energy. Hence, we entrain the brain, and by entrain, I mean using binaural beat frequencies and musical notes into brainwave states to rectify disorders that manifest due to an imbalance in these brainwave frequencies. So basically, we are rebalancing through music, whether it's the brainwave frequencies related to the secretion of neurohormones and neurotransmitters, or rebalancing the three dosh, that is kaph, pitta, and vata dosh, all through music, specifically Hindustani classical music. And we refer to this as unified vibrations. Again, just putting it into the chat box there. So unified vibrations basically means an amalgamation of the concept of binaural beats, which is basically a pulsation that we use to work on the brainwave frequencies, combined with the musical notations of Hindustani classical music. So we create customized therapeutic music pieces which are called suravalis, right? Suravalis, because though our music is based in Hindustani classical music, though we do use the premise of different rags, rags by itself are not meant to be therapeutic. They are meant to be for entertainment. Raga iti ranjayate, meaning rags were created to entertain the mind, not from the therapeutic point of view. Yes, Hindustani music and the musical notations can have a therapeutic effect, but they have to be constructed and created in a manner to work on some particular disorder with a particular methodology working on a particular target. So we use the combination called unified vibrations to work on different psychological, physical, psychosomatic disorders, and we can take them through different stages. I would just like to highlight a very important concept here, which I'm sure I will try to, of course, simplify it and explain to you. And this is called the mood elevation theory. So I'm just putting it into the chat box again there. Just to give you a very simple example, when you wake up in the morning, all right, you're just out of bed, you're sleepy, you're just waking up, your body is catching up, and somebody offers you a huge bowl of ice cream. Would you want to have that? Does your body immediately respond to saying, yes, give me that entire bowl of ice cream? This is the first thing that I want as soon as I wake up. Absolutely. I doubt there may be a few who are absolutely crazy for ice cream, who don't mind having a scoop or two, but a majority of us would not accept ice cream as soon as we wake up, right? And that's because your body has a particular mood, it has a particular state that is in, and what you experience has to correlate with that. I'll give you another example again. If those of you who have, your elders living with you at home, especially grandparents, and for example, if the grandchild is elsewhere in another city or visiting them back home, usually you'll see the grandparents feeling very tired, very low on energy, dealing with all their multiple conditions, medical conditions. But as soon as they hear that their grandchildren or their favorite grandchild is visiting them, they find this sudden surge of energy and enthusiasm. They're cooking their favorite dish or putting out whatever they like to, the games or whatever they enjoy doing. They find this sudden boost of energy. That's again a correlation of the connection between the mind and the body, on how here the mind is overpowering the body. The body may not be in its most perfect condition, but the mind finds this sudden boost and it helps the body to gain that energy. Another example again is the season of virals. I myself am recovering from a cold, and I'm sure you understand the situation where you've been in a situation where you're running a temperature, you're feeling low on energy, you're feeling tired. At that time your mind too feels a little low. You're not the happiest, you're not the most enthusiastic version of yourself at that time, when your body is not performing to its regular level. You too tend to feel a little low, a little depressed, especially in the evenings. So, what I'm trying to do is just give you different examples to show you how the mind and body influence each other, and how we use music to rectify certain situations. From the gamut of disorders that I work on, I'm just going to share an example when we work with cases with people who are suffering from depression, from chronic depression. Just again to go back to our example, say for example you're feeling very low. For whatever reason, you're not feeling happy, you're not feeling enthusiastic or driven or positive, you're just feeling very low. And if you're a person who likes to listen to music, can I know what kind of music you steer towards? You're feeling little down, you're feeling low on energy, mentally, physically, and you want to listen to music. What is the kind of music that we usually tend to listen to? If any of you would like to share it in the chat box. Absolutely. Thank you for those responses, Nisha, Shilpa. Yes, you prefer something that's slow, something that's not very upbeat and loud, probably even, sad songs of Mukesh or Arijit Singh. But your mind steers towards that kind of music, those genres of music. And that is exactly what happens. Somebody who's in a constant state of feeling low gets attracted to things that also further take him or her in a lower state or maintain that state. That is the mood elevation theory, is as per the music therapy that we study, wherein your mind and body want the impetus or the catalyst that will further elevate that mood, that is relevant and matching to that mood that it's currently in. But when it comes to cases of people who are in depression, we cannot allow them to languish and remain in that state for too long. It's not healthy, of course. But at the same time, if we suddenly expose them to something that's too upbeat, that's too vibrant, they are not going to accept it. Their mind and body will not accept it. It will be rejected. And what we'll end up having is a lost cause. So there's a process, there is a stage and a process, different stages that we take that person through to reach the final output or the final outcome of feeling normal again, maybe even towards a more happier side. And that is how we work in 3 stages. So I'm going to give you a live demonstration of the music therapy that I practice, specifically in relation to depression, because it's something that we all experience, we all come across nowadays on a daily basis, either with ourselves or our close ones. And I think we have reached a lovely environment where we are open to talking about mental health and accepting the fact that every one of us every now and then has are victims of different stages of our of the brain waves of the mind. So I'm going to give you a demonstration on how I work with people suffering from depression. As I mentioned, somebody who's feeling low cannot be suddenly exposed to something that's upbeat. So we use a particular Suravali that's based on a particular rag called Rag Darbari Kannada. As I mentioned earlier, we do not use the rag in its original form. For example, if I am performing at a concert or teaching at my institute, this is not the way I would sing or perform Rag Darbari Kannada. The Suravali that we create is based on correlating the swars with the Tridosh, and I'm going to be giving you a jhalak, an excerpt of this Suravali. So starting with the first Suravali, that's Nidrata, that works on just matching the brain waves, the state of mind with the music together, just creating a very, very conducive environment for the brain. All right. So I'm going to be presenting Suravali Nidrata. I hope I'm audible enough. You all can just close your eyes, sit comfortably, and just listen to the music that's coming your way. Sa dha dha mi pa ma pa dha ni sa ni sa dha mi pa ma pa dha ni sa re ga ma re sa re ga ma re sa ni sa dha ni pa dha ni sa dha ni sa re ga ma pa ga ma re sa ni sa dha ni re sa dha ni sa re ga re sa ni dha ni re sa re ga ma pa ga ma re sa re ga ma pa dha ni ma pa dha da ni pa ma pa ga ga ma re sa re ga ma pa dha ni pa ma pa dha da ni sa da ni pa ma pa da ni sa da ni pa ma pa ga ga ma re sa ni sa dha da ni pa dha da ni sa. So this was Suravali Nidrata, basically working on pulling down all the excess energy, on working just to bring them down, regulate the brainwave frequencies as slow as possible. So just to entrain, just to match with the current frequency of a person who is feeling extremely low. So I'm coming down, I'm bringing them down to that level so that they acquaint themselves with the vibrations that they're receiving through the sound, through the music notations. Thereafter we go, so after a few days of therapy with such kind of Suravalis that is extremely low in frequency and soothing and balancing, we move to the second stage wherein we make a conducive environment for the brain to then take the next step ahead. So before we make that jump into helping them feel back to normal, making them feel a little more vibrant, a little more positive, we have to bring them to the middle level. And we do that with a Suravali, just an example called Niravta, which is based on the Rag Kalavati. So this particular Suravali does not have notes that are too upbeat or too vibrant, but at the same time does not draw them downwards. It's now taking them upwards, regulating the brainwave frequencies and the emotional state to a level that where they just feel ready, they feel neutral, ready to move ahead thereafter. So I'm going to give you a demonstration of Suravali Niravta. And yes, Hemaji, that is exactly the point right now, is to, as I mentioned earlier, is if a person who's feeling low and I suddenly expose them to something that's too upbeat or vibrant, they will outright reject it. Even if you consider people who are not suffering from chronic depression, just us in normal life also, if there are days where you're feeling low, you would not want to listen to music that's upbeat and happy that otherwise that you might prefer. So our mind always wants to match with the state that we are in, and there's a process that we follow in music therapy wherein we entrain the brainwave frequencies of a person just to come down to their level so that they accept what we are next going to take them towards. Yeah, so that is the first step. We ensure, of course, that they don't sink lower. That is not usually how it works. This is just to match the frequencies of the brain. And the second stage that I'm demonstrating to you now is to bring them to neutral ground. Not happy, not low, but just to neutralize all their brainwave frequencies and the emotional states so that they get prepared to then accepting something more positive. Yeah. So I'm now going to sing Suravali Niravta for you. So you all can sit comfortably, you all can lie down if you all like, just be comfortable. Close your eyes and just immerse yourself in the music. Sa ni da sa ga sa ga sa ni dha pa pa dha ni dha sa sa ga ga pa ga pa ga pa ga sa sa ga pa ga pa dha 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 pa dha ni dha pa ga pa dha dha ni dha pa ga pa dha ni dha pa dha sa dha ni dha sa sa ga sa ni dha pa ga pa dha ni dha pa dha pa ga pa ga sa 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 ga 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 pa ga pa ga pa ga pa ga pa dha pa ga pa ga pa 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 ga sa ga sa 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 ni dha ni dha sa 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 ni dha pa dha ni dha sa ga 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 pa dha 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 pa ga pa dha 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 ni dha sa 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 ni dha pa 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 dha pa pa ga pa ga sa tom ta na 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 tom 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 ta na 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 tom ta na 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 tom 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 Tom, 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 ta-na-na-na-na, tom, ta-na-na-na-na, tom, 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 ta-na-na-na-na, tom, 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 ta-na, tom, ta-na, tom. Tom, 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 tom. Sa, ga, sa, ni, dhani, dhani, dha, sa. So this was Suravali Niravata, as I mentioned, just to neutralize the state of mind, and we usually combine them with a frequency range, a binaural beat range of 10 hertz, just to bring the mind down to the alpha state. Yeah. Usually we think the brainwave frequencies are extremely slow when in that mid stage, but it's most ideal to have it in the alpha stage when you're feeling just centered, just sufficiently balanced. And that's how we combine this Suravali with the binaural beats of 10 hertz to bring it into the alpha state of mind. Ready then to move on to the beta stage ahead, which is the more upbeat, the more vibrant state of mind, when we are happy, when we are energetic, when we are enthusiastic, when we are driven. That's usually the state we are in. And the third stage of music therapy when working with a person in depression. So first we matched their low frequency with the Suravali. We then brought them to middle ground where they're just feeling balanced, they're just feeling centered. And the third stage that we then go on to is to help them feel more positive in life. Of course, this is something that happens over weeks and not in a matter of days or just a couple of hours. Music therapy is a modality which needs time to work on the brainwave frequencies, to work on the tridosh. It requires consistency in listening to the therapeutic music pieces and exposing yourself to these positive vibrations. Yes, Himaji, I'd be happy to share information with you on how the modality works. Once I finish the demonstration, I will share that information so that you'll understand the process of how we work. But coming now to the third Suravali, and that is called Suravali Anand Mohini, which is based on the premise of the rag Yaman. Yaman is an extremely popular, extremely loved rag for music enthusiasts, and you'll also find plenty of Bollywood songs that are based in this rag, and it has a very, very versatile structure that can be used in different formats to express different emotions. And we use this very effectively to make a person feel more vibrant after a low phase. So, presenting Suravali Anand Mohini for you all. Again, I request you all to just sit comfortably and close your eyes and feel the energy, the vibrancy of this beautiful Suravali. Sa, sa, ni, dha, ni, dha, ni, sa, sa, ni, dha, ni, dha, pa, ma, dha, ni, sa, ni, sa, ni, re, sa, ni, dha, pa, Madhari sa ni re ga ga re ga ni re ga ga ni re ga ga ma ga re ni re ga ga re ni re sa ni re ga ma pa ma ga re ni re sa ni re ga ma da ni sa ni da pa ma ni sa ni sa ni re ni sa ni dha ni sa ni re ga re ni re ga re ni re sa ni da pa ma ga ma pa da pa ma pa ga ma re ga ni re ga re sa pardon me sa ni dha ni sa So that was Suravali Anand Mohini. Pardon the ending, I'm just recovering, as I mentioned, from a cold and cough. But I hope I was able to reflect and justify the upbeat emotions of this Suravali, which just help you to feel more positive, feel more vibrant, and feel more out there. So this was a small glimpse into the therapy that I practice, Sur Sanjeevan modality, as I mentioned earlier. And what we do basically is through Hindustani classical music, we take the person through a journey of wellness, rebalancing any kind of disorders in the tridosh, in the brainwave frequencies. And to answer Hemaji's question, this particular modality that I practice does not require anybody to visit the center or have any kind of Zoom sessions. I create customized music pieces for the individual to listen to. So just like this beautiful platform today that is accessible to people across the world, these Suravalis are accessible to people in any corner of the world because I create the recordings of these Suravalis, of the therapeutic music pieces, which I share with them. And it's like carrying your music wellness capsule on your phone, because all the person has to do is plug in their earphones and listen to the music. So it's something that's extremely convenient, extremely safe, it's non invasive, and it's music. Music naturally is extremely therapeutic. And when you follow certain modalities which are based on a scientific background, it helps to reduce, it helps us to rid our lives of both psychological as well as physical disorders, physical ailments. So, thank you so much. That was my 2 cents, my insight into the world of Sur Sanjeevan music therapy, into the world of sound wellness and music wellness. But thank you so much for joining in. I hope I was able to also, of course, add valuable information that you've been gathering all through the day with the lovely seminars and discussions that we've been having on this platform, but also help you to just unwind and reboot with a little music. And as we revisited earlier, the concept of Matrika chants, where you use your own voice for your wellness. So thank you so much. I'd like to thank each and every one of you who has joined in today. And as I always say, stay healthy musically. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashwini. I mean, what can I say? That was absolutely spiritual. Taking us through the complexities and of our culture, of our heritage. I mean, you literally try to encapsulate centuries of science and centuries of music into just a short 90-minute session. And I can just imagine what it must be like to go through a session like this, and all the insights that you, small little nuances that you kept pointing out. And it's like, they say the body knows how to heal itself. And I think if we attune ourselves with nature and what's really God given in terms of, the heritage of music, I think, and done scientifically with the right direction, of course, it's absolutely amazing. And, I'm so happy. I mean, even the previous session which Kalpana conducted, it's easy to trivialize something like Bollywood music, but, that's also rag based. And that's where the Shastriya Sangeet, comes into play, and so beautiful. So thank you so much, Ashwini. Can't thank you enough. I'm glad you actually accepted to come on this platform and bring this gift to us. And to all the people who attended here, I must tell you that all sessions at this RISE Summit are going directly onto YouTube. So do look out for the channel, the RISE channel. And those who couldn't make it today, I know some people have messaged me saying they had some problems logging in, or some couldn't make it for other reasons. It'd be great to point them out to this session, because I think this is invaluable. The other thing is, because of the way the Hubilo platform on which RISE runs is structured, you can connect with Ashwini, because Ashwini, you can find Ashwini, search for Ashwini in among the thousands of people out there, but she'll be there as a speaker or a thought leader. And you can search for Ashwini, just like you could search for Kalpana earlier, and connect with Ashwini out there. Also, there's a booth which will have been set up for Ashwini and her organization, and I think you'll find more information about what she does out there. Of course, nothing like connecting with Ashwini on a one-on-one and getting a physical session. I know that's something which would be absolutely phenomenal. So once again, thank you so much, Ashwini. You really brought a beautiful end to what was an amazing day of RISE, just the second day of the RISE Summit. There are 5 more days to go and tons of stuff waiting for all of us. 4 more days. And I wish all of you great exploration, because RISE is about that. RISE is about discovering new things, new ideas, finding new people and organizations to collaborate with, and ultimately create a more beautiful, safe, healthy planet. And Ashwini, what you have done is added that one beautiful aspect to it, that of musical wellness. Thank you. Any last words before I hand it over to Naz?
Just thank you, of course, to all of you, and best wishes to all the speakers, the participants, and the lovely back-end staff. Thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. So, Shilpa, all yours, or Naz, whoever wants to take it ahead.
Yeah, okay. It's really, really
Am I audible?
Yes, you can. Thank you so much, Ashwini ma'am.
Yeah. I will say thank you to Ashwini ma'am, and it was really soothing, really calm experience. Despite having multiple session in a day, and running from one session to another, organizing multiple physical events. Thank you so much, and we will looking forward to have you for our staff members. Definitely. And thank you on behalf of all the attendees from the RISE PECOWOrld Summit.